你好. Good morning, everyone. Ava, MW. Hi, Terry. Shin, how are you? Claudia? Welcome dropping by my tour. I'm in southeast China. This is my second tour to visit this village that features the canola bloom. I was here last time a few days ago on a Sunday. It is, hi Joe, it is Friday today. In the morning, you can see behind me there's canola, the beautiful color of that flower. And as I predicted last time, uh, more canola flowers are expected at this time of the year. And I think now we're pretty much getting the full bloom of the canola in this area in southeastern China. I'm in a small village, and I'm holding an umbrella because it is a raining day. And actually, today is the beginning of our raining spell in spring. It was all good in the past few days until last night. It started to rain, and this is going to last, according to weather forecast, for maybe 10 days at least. All right, so uh, let me show you the views in front of me. And there's a valley. First of all, you see it's not cherry blossom, not plum blossom, too late. This is a peach blossom. And this is an angle for you to see the road that I'm going to be treading on later. Yeah, there are cars coming and back for tourists. When you see this type of a van here in this village area, they are for tourists. And usually you just know they are coming because they honk a lot. And there you can also see some people taking pictures or videos. And here behind me, above this bunch of canola flowers, is a farmer's home, which has now adapted into a homestay. And people can stay there, eat, yeah, relax. This is for viewing, yeah. Yes, Shin, 好美, very beautiful, yeah. Thank you, Katie. And when I hiked up, I saw a lot of people, not a lot of people, I saw some people in different clusters, but not a lot, going down. Probably those people, they either just came very early this morning or they stayed here up in the mountaintop area for the night. And there is the valley. The scent must be amazing. Brian, to be honest, I don't really smell any scent. There is no scent from the canola flowers. And you may get some from the cherry or plum blossoms or even peach blossoms, but not from the canola. And so far, I haven't smelled any. All right, there you can see the valley. And last time, I showed you pretty much the same angle from here. And there you can see a river. This is a branch of the Xinganjiang River, the main river that flows in this area. And it's a cloudy day. Temperature is 8 degrees Celsius to maybe 13 degrees Celsius. Yeah, because it's not a sunny day, the temperature doesn't vary that much. In a sunny day, sometimes now, the lowest temperature when it is like 5 degrees, 4 degrees, well, the highest temperature can reach over 20 degrees. But not today. It's more stable because there's no sun. It looks look like where I live, Washington State, USA. Okay, Laurel, thank you for sharing this. And there you can see a trail. This trail probably connects different sub-villages in this area, often treaded by local villagers. So now, how many acres is there? Is this one farm? Okay. Uh, Actually, I'm standing on the hillside, and there's a trail right beneath me. And let me walk and show you better the area, Joe. Uh, Let me walk first. Let's walk through different parts in this area, and on the way we'll see some sub-villagers and what people, including tourists and people involved in tourism, will be doing. It's more than light rain. As you can hear, the pitter patter of the raindrops quite a lot, quite heavy. And to be honest, Joe, when you I almost tripped because the trail is just a trail. There are stones, rocks, and uneven parts on it. I just now didn't make myself stand still almost. All right, but I'm all right. Yes, Laurel, thank you for your consideration. Uh, if that did happen, it would be just all right. I mean, maybe I just got my pants stained, and it's all right. Not dangerous location. And here is even a better angle for you to look at the river. And here's the bend of that river. Right beside the bend is a village. Typical black and white Anhui School of Architecture. Oh, so gorgeous. Yeah, this is maybe again like Chinese landscape painting. Black and white in different shades. Mountain view, water, right? And feng shui. When you talk about mountain and water, you naturally just think of Chinese term feng shui, because feng shui has a lot to do with you having mountain in the back and the water in the front. Always mountain and water. Yeah, there's a tourist bus or small van coming. So bear with me. During the tour, you may hear this a lot. Oftentimes, I may have to just halt for the passing of this kind of loud noise. Last time I was here was my children and an adult female friend and her daughter. And so we were actually with the three children, but no cars ever let up. All right. That's so interesting. Yeah. I mean, this is the peak season for the for tourism in this village. It is the time for them to make money hand over fist. There are also some private cars. They are quieter, although some also appear quite aggressive. But in general, let me call it spade a spade. They are quieter in general. Warning of coming vehicles, perhaps. Yeah. And some people actually, when they stay overnight here, they may also expect to see the cloud of the sea of clouds. I'm at the elevation of 300 meters above the sea level. This is a relatively mountainous area, and when you add the peak of a mountain with some source of water like a river feeding the humidity in this area, you may get a chance to see the sea of clouds. Yeah, that's also why people like to spend some money to stay overnight here. Otherwise, they may just come here in the morning to take photos of those canola fields. And Joe, actually, I was trying to answer your question just now, but was interrupted by the honk. And actually, I am a city person in nature. I'm not very familiar with a lot of agricultural notions. So when you want me to ask how many acres that one field is, actually, I don't really can really tell. Where do you live? I live in another village in this area now. I moved into rural China with my wife, who is originally from rural China last year. But I grew up and I went to school all in Shanghai. Look, maybe this is this reminds me of the cover image. Yes, you can verify with the cover image for this tour. This is it. This is where that photo was taken. Because I did this tour only last time for the first time. A few days ago, I actually used an image from internet for the cover image of this tour. So, but next time I don't have to because when I get home later, what I can do is just take a screenshot of this moment in this video and use it as the cover image. And this is a different weather mode today. It's a rainy day today. Yeah, but this is a in yeah pleasing, beautiful view. Local farmers are getting busy as they are able to pluck the tea buds actually pretty soon, and some actually are doing it now because it depends on the species of the tea bushes. Even in this area, there are some different species of the tea bushes from different areas of China, like Fukienese strain and the local strain, etc. So the Fukienese species of tea bush is now producing the buds that people are actually plucking now. Okay. How is a canola harvested? Yeah, canola, people used the seeds. They harvested the canola seeds. People harvested the canola seeds for extracting the canola oil, or called the rapeseed oil. And last time when I was here, I was with a female adult friend, and she is a local village. She's a local villager, and she told me, she pointed at the pot where people can actually really take for extracting the canola oil. And later maybe I can show you. We grow canola, wheat, barley, soybeans. Okay, canola, wheat. Yes, here we have wheat, barley. Not so much barley, wheat. Barley maybe in northern China. Soybeans, yes, soybeans we have. Yeah, this area people enjoy eating tofu. Tofu is a big part of the diet for people in rural China because it's almost like a good replacement to meat for getting protein. And in rural China, to be honest, there are still a lot of relatively poor villagers in this area. And a lot of people, they don't have a strong awareness of how to maintain their health, and they just rely on a lot of tofu. And of course, as a Chinese indigenous man, I grew up eating a lot of tofu, and I also like tofu. I like tofu, but not for everybody. Not for everybody. My wife doesn't eat tofu because of uh, the calcium, the stone problem in her in her urine tube. So she is not able to eat tofu, and she cannot eat tofu, but I eat tofu. Yeah. All right. There are way less people today than a few days ago on a Sunday. Of course, that was a Sunday. Today is Friday. And again, here you see the name of this village in Chinese. Here, these two characters, 石潭. So this is the best thing for you to know where you are, and if you want to be here someday, and you can just show this, or you can ask me. I didn't know that tofu wasn't good for you. Tofu isn't good for a specific group of people, like people who have the calcium accumulation problem in their body. You know, the stone. So in my wife's case, she actually has the problem of the calcium in her urine tube. And it caused her problems years ago, and she saw doctors and later some treatments, of course, and she was advised not to take tofu. She is not taking tofu. Yeah, here in this local area in southeastern China, people also use a lot of soy sauce, which is also a product of soybean for cooking. It's such an important part. I'm from Shanghai area, and Shanghai cooking is known for the use of soy sauce. Okay, and here you can see on this side a lot of rocks piled up as the foundation of the fields above. And here in this area, a lot of villagers, they also have the buildings built on this kind of a foundation of all the rocks. And there's also a tomb. In rural China, people are allowed to build their tomb in the land that is owned by the family. And this is still a policy in effect. But there have been noises about some change. Not sure to what degree. So in that case, some people actually, you know what? I talked about this last time. People are racing against the time, building their tombs. Yeah, they make their coffins and they make their tombs ahead of time here in rural China. I recently found out I'm allergic to soy, which makes me mad. I love Hunan, Sichuan cuisine. Yeah, then you have to find a good replacement. Hunan and Sichuan cuisine. Amanda, you like spicy food. Hunan and Sichuan are two provinces in China, in southwestern China or central southwestern China, and both are the champions of spice food in China. Actually, I was born in another southwestern province. I'm not sure if you have heard of it. That name is Guizhou province. Guizhou is less known to people from outside China, Guizhou. And I was born there because my mother is actually a Guizhou native, and my father, during the Mao's era, just like millions of other people in their youth age, went to the countryside in different parts of China to take the so-called reforms. And so my father met my mother there in remote Guizhou province, and then they both worked in a factory. You know, in 1960s, late 1960s, there was a very severe tension between China and Soviet Union when Soviet Union at a later point even threatened to nuke China, which was only stopped by the USA uh, through some, some memes of diplomacy or whatever behind the door. So at that time, a lot of people worked in factories all over China, mainly in the backwater areas of China. A lot of weaponry factories, metal part factories all over China. So then my parents, they both worked in one factory in Guizhou province, and they made the parts for some kind of weaponry. Okay, let me walk to a viewing spot. I can walk either through a trail here on my left side or through the village ahead of me. Let me walk you through this village, and either way we can get there. This is a sub village. What would they have to do with the tombs if the law is changed? Okay, so there have been noises about maybe the limitation on the size of the tomb, or even maybe some limitation on if you can build a tomb like this and with your body just buried in it at all. So not clear because usually they just hear a lot of noises until just suddenly it becomes a law or policy, and people are always kept guessing in China. We just recently had the two meetings. A lot of noises about some new policies, but only noises. Yeah, there have been a lot of noises in the past 3 years about whether English should be one of the main three subjects in China any longer. Yeah, there have been that. That's interesting. But people are really talking about it. Yeah, it's no trivia. All right, this is I'm walking in a village, and because this village is now well known with a lot of tourists coming here to take the canola bloom pictures, and almost every family now has been adapted to some kind of a homestay. They provide food, specialties, and accommodation. You can tell that this village is not old at all. It's not an old village. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm walking on the steps. And I said this village doesn't look old at all. It's relatively new. I mean, at least the buildings are new. This kind of buildings in China were built mainly in the past 20 years. There's an old building here. There's a mural painting on it. This side of the building is very much rotten over the years by humidity, rain. And you know what? And actually, in the past 4 days, uh, As I said, I moved here with my wife last year, and in the past 4 days, I took some time doing my mural painting for my house, and I would like to show you the picture of it. Let me show you the picture here. I still have the same problem to see what the content of the image is. Maybe it takes a while for me to really see it, but at this moment I'm not able to see it. But it doesn't matter because I only have one picture for this tour, and here now you can see it. This is there are two mural paintings I created in the past 4 days. Last week we asked some local workers to help us fix our house and mainly to whitewash the wall of our house. And after that, there's a bird in the cage. There's a bird in the cage, and before the tour started, I noticed also a thrush flying there. In China, you see a lot of thrush birds in the cage. And there is the platform for best viewing. I will be there later. Not a crow, probably not a crow. That kind of bird is called 八哥, and it is similar to a parrot in the sense that it is able to talk. It's a very smart kind of bird, and it is able to imitate and talk like a person. Yeah. But it's black. It looks almost like a crow, but it's not a crow. And there you can see pictures, people taking pictures up there. And I'll be there after I walk through this village. And you know what? I just shared this image and I created these two paintings on the wall. When I finished doing the first one on the left, you know what's so funny? Two local villagers, both painters, wall painters, not artist painters, wall painters for construction, in their 50s or maybe 60s. And then when they gazed at my image, guess what they first told me about? They commented that I should put a post in the main building in that view where the local office is now. It used to be a school, but now it is where the local office in the village is. And they suggested me to put the flagpole over there and also the national flag of China there. And this is what they first thought about when they saw that painting. Okay. I would say those two wall painters, as I know, they don't live any kind of quality life because I have lived in this village area for a while, and I have been getting to know more and more about the people here. So both are wall painters. Even at the first glance, if you really see them, you can kind of tell that they don't live any good life. But both are very, very concerned about the local office's appearance. Okay. You could start a new trend. Yes, good idea. What? Okay. All right, now we are getting closer to the viewing spot. We are almost done with the village. This is a single wheelbarrow. A homestay. A customer is having breakfast, noodle breakfast. That's a relatively pretty house in this village, refurbished in more modern style. And you know what? Last time when I finished the tour, I walked through here with my group, my family and friends. So when we passed here, we saw a couple in their maybe 50s, obviously tourists, and they were standing over there. The man was standing at the gate. Well, the woman actually just went into that homestay, and later it turned out to be that she was looking for a bathroom, but she didn't ask anybody, just went in. And in the middle, she was stopped by the owner of the house, and who asked her what she was doing. And she just explained that I was looking for a bathroom. But that lady actually went to somebody's home without asking. Of course, you can argue that this is a homestay, but let's say uh, it's still somebody's home. At the very least, knock. That's right. They didn't do that kind of thing. That's why the owner, when he found out that he was a bit angry, but he was able to control his temperament. He didn't appear too rude, but he was stern. All right, now I'm getting into the woods. This is a small walk. I'll be out of the woods in a minute or two, and finally we'll get to see the views again.太急了, Xin explained, yeah. Too urgent. And there was another anecdote I encountered with my children. And that happened right after I wrapped up my last tour, when I was still standing in an area close to the canola fields that I will be later. And a group of women, they enjoyed themselves so much in their selfies and group photos taken by one member of them. And they actually they stamped into the field. And at that moment, the owner of the field found that an old lady, maybe in her 60s, and she was in an argument with the group, and she said, you are now standing in my field, and this is bad for my canola and for my field, So you should come out immediately. But those ladies, they didn't come out. They didn't move even an inch. They insisted that they didn't know. And they are now in the middle of a picture. They want to finish their picture first before they move out. That was another interesting anecdote. All right, you can see I'm approaching the platform over there, and there are photographers coming down. A lot of photographers. And eventually that owner lady had to say that, okay, you do not want to come out immediately. Now pay me 50 yuan each. I'm not sure each or all together. She said, pay me 50 yuan. Yes, they need some punishment. All right, now we're looking back at this village I walked past minutes ago. Some people have no respect. Yeah, and they have no rationality, I would say. If you are in somebody's field and being pointed out, let's say you don't know it, but now you are being pointed out, what you should do is come out immediately, stop doing the wrong thing immediately. Not argue that I'm in the middle of a great moment, then then you should wait. All right, it's getting misty. You know what? As I am now at maybe a higher elevation, the air is thicker around me with more droplets floating in the air. It's mistier now. Oh, oh, so misty. Let me wait after their photo. See, people here, Chinese people, they like to say some English phrases like thank you between themselves. And they like to say okay a lot. Okay, thank you are the most frequently used English phrases in China. Wow, the mist is a wet blanket for the views. I can only see the views up close to us. Look, now I'm pointing at the village that I showed you at the beginning of the tour. You are not able to see it's all that well. But very beautiful, yeah. Now in the middle of the view, there are two pink trees, two trees with pink flowers. The one on the right is a magnolia. The one on the left is a peach blossom. I see the magnolia flower petals quite a lot on the ground. So that means they have been knocked down by the rain, or it's just the time for them to fall. Yeah, as I know, magnolia flowers don't stay very long. They are falling. I would be scared on this platform. How stable is the cliff it sits on? Barry, uh, I mean, it looks okay. To me, it looks okay because there is another platform below where they stand. When you have the sense of security, you don't really worry much. Okay, you can see the visibility now is very low. Last time I walked to that pavilion over there, and that pavilion, as I see, maybe is like 100 meters to me, 100 meters in distance to me. But I can't. You can barely see it. This is just how poor the visibility at this moment is. If it's not rude, what are they saying? If it's not rude, what are they saying? If it's not rude, what are they saying? What do you mean, Laura? I don't get it. Oh, what are they saying? Yeah, you know what? I need to be wary of where I am standing. This is what's behind me. This is what's behind me. That's not safe, Barry. This is not safe at all. The lower platform over there is not even a platform, right? And there is the canola field, which is about 3 meters under me. That's high enough for a pretty serious accidents. So let me first of all be aware of my surroundings first. I would say this spot is now very popular with photographers and ladies who are not necessarily shutterbugs, but are very into selfie photos and photos that they can publish on the social media to share with their friends. Okay, now we can see the village over there better. And that is the village I talked about last time. This is a desert village. Nobody lives there anymore. Maybe you can't really tell from just a view at this distance, but this village, as I can tell you, is deserted. I visited that village. We went there into the village with my wife and children, and also my mother-in-law, maybe 3 years ago. still during the overall lockdown in China, and there was nobody there. A lot of some rubbles on the ground. Why? Uh, for this village in particular, that is because years ago, the local villagers were informed that there could be potential threats posed by the mudslides in this area. So they were advised to move altogether. And later that really happened. So actually, I heard the similar story in the some other sub villages near where I live. Even the village I live with my wife, the one I showed you a couple of times on other tours in the early stage. And just a few days ago, an old man told me that they even also got a notification about the mudslide threat many, many years ago. And there was actually then a chance for them to move altogether. But it didn't really happen because of the poor finance of the local village office. This is what he told me. So, I mean, recently I have heard of this kind of story a lot. Just a lot of villagers, when they have, maybe some kind of notification from the office saying that their village is in a dangerous location. So then there's the possibility for them to move emergent. Since we can't see very much here, let me keep walking. All right, here is a, some canola right in front of us. After the flower is dead, here in this stem, the stem is quite long, or the pedicel is quite long and thin. In this pedicel part of the flower, after the flower is dead, you are able to get the seeds, pluck them out, and harvest them, and then extract the oil from the seeds in this kind of stem. We used to consume a good percentage of canola oil, as my wife suggested a few years ago, but we kind of later stopped doing that anymore because we realized that animal oil in general is better, except for the olive oil and few others that plant oil, but okay. Most in general, the animal oils are better. So now we consume here in this village area, we consume a lot of lard because lard is the animal oil that we are able to get quite easily within easy reach in this area. And we still use olive oil for some low temperature cooking and not much canola seed oil anymore, not that much. But my wife still is very keen on another plant oil that is one of the exceptions I mentioned. Maybe I didn't mention, but I tried to mention. That is also good, which is the tea seed oil. There's a species of tea tree that produces a kernel that contains oil, and that is a good one. And I mentioned on my other tours that kind of tea oil is the Chinese equivalent of olive oil in Western countries. It's good. I use the olive oil mainly. Yeah, I like avocado oil. Yes, Lori, avocado is good, but it's not something that we can get within easy reach in our area. We try to purchase some on internet, and but in general, we're not very satisfied with the quality over time since it's not popular in China. And avocado, I mean, I was talking about avocado as a whole fruit. Avocado oil, we haven't actually purchased. I think we have some. We have some, yeah. But we tried to purchase avocado as a fruit, but it didn't turn out very well after a while. Quality wasn't consistent out of the online shopping sometimes. Never heard of avocado oil. I would say avocado oil. Avocado is a fruit that obviously contains a good content of oil. That is quite tangible. I mean, it's quite obvious. Maybe you like this view. There's the deserted village in the background of this view. There are peach blossoms. Actually, my mother-in-law grew up in that deserted village when she was really young. And now we are able to see this bend of the river better. This is another bend of the same river. And now let's look back at that viewing platform. Laura said, I've never cooked with a tea tree oil. That's the same as the tea tree essential oil. The essential oil is very pungent. Uh, I would say there are always different species in it. So probably we're not talking about the same thing, but close. I can handle the rain today pretty well with my feet because I'm wearing I'm wearing rain shoes in rubber. This morning I dropped off my children first and then I drove on. I didn't turn back. I drove on to this village in another 10 minutes. Then I parked. Actually, usually that parking isn't busy at all. Like 10 days ago when we visited this area, we parked there and there was not even three cars. But this time It was all packed this morning. It took me a while to find a place to park, and after that, I hiked up through first of all a rustic trail, and then the paved road for both pedestrians and the cars for another altogether 30 minutes as I walked along. I did it this time just faster than I did last time with my children. Here you can see there's a line of tourists waiting for this kind of a van to go down to finish their tour here. In China, people use vans a lot of this type. People use vans to transport goods, to take people. The village itself is free to visit. There is no entrance ticket. But now, in the tourism season, they first of all set up a barrier down the hill to stop just a large number of cars. So when people park, they charge a fee first, which is usually unnecessary, 10 yuan for parking. And then you kind of, if you don't want to hike by yourself, you have to then take this kind of a van, which costs 15 yuan single way. And if you come up in the van and go down in the van, it costs you 30 yuan. In addition to parking, which is 10 yuan. So I would say private uh, road roadsters, I mean, people on road trip, when they visit, they have to spend 40 yuan, which is not a lot for the visit. Shuttle buses, yeah. I hope there are government workers that check on the safety of all these stone and dirt paths. Barry, I appreciate your awareness of safety. All right. Actually, I was here last time. Uh, the pavilion up there. Let me go there again. I remember last time my daughter started her complaining about being tired, wanting to go home from here. And last time I also saw that the friend gave my daughter a snack, and my daughter didn't know how to respond to her. So we talked about how actually important that children nowadays are able to say no in a good way, smart way, or even sometimes I would even say that in a direct way to people. But of course, I'm not referring to that situation because that lady is a lady and we are friends. But sometimes strangers or people you don't really know that all that well. Sometimes I hope my children sometimes can just say a direct no to people in some situations, even regardless of a manners. Sometimes, of course, I want them to have manners, but I want sometimes them to start from there first and then pick up more manners. Sometimes, all right? It's a bit complicated. Wow, it's getting misty again. See, here we are in the area of tea bushes. People started to put out those yellow stickers to trap the bugs maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. And they are probably going to pick their tea buds very soon. And now you can see the buds, see? at the top in tender green color. These are the buds they're growing. The spring, the first flush of the year, is the most prized one. So I will come back and show you the moments when local farmers pick the tea leaves. This is a very important period of time for farmers in this area. I would say the tea is the main cash plant for people in this area. Like in the village where I live, those villagers in relatively old age, they all expect this time of the year. They don't have other means to make money. Not many other means. So some people don't have even another means to make money. So they kind of rely on the tea to make the money that they don't have to go out to work as a migrant worker since they are old or they are not quite able-bodied anymore, or to some degree. Sometimes I also see a lot of people are not that old, but they are kind of like jetsam and flotsams that I didn't get to see in the city. So those are the people I mentioned and earlier, just a wall painter who commented on my mural painting, suggesting maybe putting a national flag there in front of the building for the local office. And that man is probably in his 50s. He started to work as a wall painter in his young age. But that business is not easy, especially the paints oftentimes in all these years earlier was quite poisonous. So that man is actually a handicapped man. He is able to walk, he is able to talk, but not in a good way. Uh, Kind of a broken life, and he lives there alone. And his son comes to visit him once every a while. But I would say it's a typical unknown life of Chinese here in rural China. Yeah. So anyway, I would like to show you more the true life facts in China, if you're interested in. I think I'm going to wrap up here for today's tour. It has been 1 hour. Thank you for your dropping by, and thank you for your all the support. Uh, I really appreciate that. And that's it for today, friends. So as I said, I have a new Twitter account. I started the publishing content just recently, and I will try to come back and see your questions and answer. All right, the questions that I haven't got a chance to answer, if possible. So, thank you so much, everyone. That's it for today. That's it for today. Okay. 再见. Bye for now. Take care. Peace out.